Hello everyone. My name is Jayashree Chaudhary, and in this session, I'm going to talking about the generative AI. So, agenda of today's session is today I'll discuss the introduction to generative AI, prerequisite to learn the generative AI, applications of generative AI, and the interesting part is I'll let you know where the generative AI is used, how it is used in the project. So I'll give you the brief introduction about the one project which is based on the Gen AI. So we are going to start. So first, before we are going to start the introduction, let us understand what is AI. So AI is, as everybody knows, AI is artificial intelligence, and basically it refers the stimulation of human intelligence in a machine. So basically, they are enabled to perform the task that required the reasoning, learning, and decision making. So these are the some key features of AI. The one is perception, where it's going to understand the text, speech, image, and the videos. Learning, where it's going to improvise the performance over the period of time through the data. And reasoning is it solve the problems and making the decisions. Automation is, create the replacing and augmentation of the human task. So there are the two types of AIs. One is in the categories of call it as a narrow AI or it call it as a weak AI. So basically, these AI models are specialized only for the specific task. Example is Alexa. It worked on only the text. It works only on audio. Whatever the things that we have asked, based on that, it will search and it will respond. The next one is general AI, that is artificial general intelligence, AI with human like a cognitive abilities. So AI techniques as basically the machine learning, then deep learning, natural language processing. So basically, what is the use of this? So we are going to see over here. So artificial intelligence is the field of computer science, basically that seek the to create a intelligent machine that can replicate or exceed the human intelligence. And this machine learning is then after in that umbrella we have a machine learning. So basically machine learning is a subset that enable the machine to perform the existing data and improve upon the data to make a decision and the predictions. So there are the certain algorithms that are there that we are using. And in a deep learning, it is basically a machine learning. It uses that, which is the layer of the neural network. And it is used to process the data to make the decisions. So deep learning is also like it is on the top of the machine learning and it adds some neural network. And then the generative AI is basically create a new written visual and auditory content based on the prompt or an existing data. So you can see that we use the chat GPT or Bard, where we are going to ask this something, right? Suppose I'll just say write a program in a Python to do some task, right? So what it does, based on the required input, it's going to generate. Or if I want to ask this some questions to that, like when the IPL season is going to start in 2025. So based on whatever the resources that are available on the net, it will want to search from that the valid resources and give us the response. Okay. So whenever I'm saying that generative AI, so generative AI is a subset of AI focus, but it major focus is creating on a new content. Okay. Such as the text, image, music, using the deep learning models. Okay. So it internally uses the natural language processing and through which it's going to create the text related to the text models. For the audio images, there are the various models that are available. So for the text generation, we are using the chat GPT, Bard, right? And image generation, you can go for the DALL-E, Midjourney. Code generation, for that you are using the AI tool like GitHub Copilot, OpenAI Contacts. Music and audio generation, you can use AI Music Composer or a deepfake videos. And healthcare in a DERC, we are using the AI powered medical image analysis and all those things. Okay. Now, these are the various, application of generative AI. So generative AI has a huge features. Most of the industries are start using the generative AI. So you can use the generative AI in an industry like art and design, music composition, content creation, visual word, fashion and product design, financial forecasting, customer behavior analysis, demand forecasting, health and care, fraud detection. So nowadays, like all the big organizations also, like Microsoft, Amazon, they are using the generative AI in their products to enhance the business. So, like in my applications, when we are going to discuss the project, at that time I'll talk about the detail how it is used in a particular segment in the workflow, so that it give us the proper response, and it very helpful for the business cycle also. Okay. So, like, if somebody is saying, I want to learn the generative AI, so what are the prerequisite? The one is the programming skill, specifically, here the Python is required, because Python is very versed and goes with the machine learning and deep learning, this data science related thing. So, the programming skills, that is the Python, machine learning basic, deep learning framework, then natural language processing, data handling, like, because what happened is in those creating the applications by using the Gen AI, we have to use our own data set also, right? So at that time, you have to use the data set, you have to upload it, you have to handle it, right? So for that, the data handling, and of course, the cloud and the deployment skills, because if you want to create a particular model, if you want to deploy that, then you need a knowledge about the cloud and as well as the deployment skills. But that is optional. The above skills that are the mandatory to develop. Now, how this generative AIs work? So basically, this generative AI has a three phase. One is the training phase, then pattern learning phase, and the last one is generation, because that is something which generate a response based on the input prompt. Okay, so in a training phase, what it does, the AI is trained on the massive data phase, depends on what kind of generation you want. Okay, so all the Gen AI is it's also known as, that is text generation related. It's also known as LLM, that is large language model. So they use on the massive data set. They are trained on the massive data set. Then pattern learning. The model understand the relationship, style, and the structures. And then lastly, the generation part is there. So after train this data, after understanding the relationship and all, the generation phase is given, where the trained model create a new human-like content based on the input prompts. Now here, everywhere I'm using the prompt and all. So I'll come to the discussion. What is a prompt and all? So these generative AI models, there are the two types of model. One is related to the image, videos and all. One is the large language models, that is LLMs. Okay. And this large language models is work with the textual input and the output. That means what happen is, whenever I want to ask anything to my model, I'm going to type into the text. And this model is going to work internally with this huge or large massive data set, where and it's going to do certain steps in between using the NLPs, and then it give me the response with the help of this models. Okay, so these are the generative models that are available. Some are paid, some are open source. So various models are available, like ChatGPT, Scribe is there, AlphaCode is there, Copilot is there, GPT-4 is there, Bard, right? DAL-E2 for the image. So there are so many models are available. So wisely we need to choose based on the features, what kind of things we required. Of course, it comes with the price also. Some are having the API keys pricing with their model, and also based on that we need to choose the correct model as per our business requirement, and the what is the our business requirement and respective with the other factors when we are going to develop the project. So here I've used the prompt also, because this GPT model is work on the prompt. So what is a prompt? So input of a large language model is known as a prompt. You can see over here. Here is the just simple example. In a prompt, I'll just say Python function to sum of the two numbers A and B. So what it does, I can ask it that you can write a simple Python functions to the sum of the two number A and B. So exactly what I required, if I'm going to put into the precise manner, it generate the things. So you can see over here, it will give me the function add numbers with the two numbers, that is A and B, and it return the result. Even it give you the explanations also, right? So what happened is in generative AI, these prompts are playing very important role, because based on the prompt, it's going to search the things. Okay. Now, what happen is, guys, if I use the generative AI, if I use the chat GPT and all, and if I'll ask some basic questions, it always give the response. So let me show you some interesting things, and then we are going to look forward with the real example. So this is my browser, and suppose I'm just going to open a chat GPT. Okay. And if I'm asked, can you please summarize the document? And if I hit, right, every time, right, it will say what? Ensure please upload the document which you want to summarize. Everything. You can say, what is the right schedule of IPL 2025? It gives me the output. It's going to search, it takes the time, and then it's going to give. At the same time, it will give me the responses from where it is going to, get all those resources. Okay. So everything, whatever the information it has, see this IPL, see this IPL 2025, IPLET20.com. It used these resources and it generated a response. Now think that if I'm having my own website, let's take example, it is related to the finance or healthcare, and I want to create some chatbot. What is the purpose of chatbot? Whatever the documentations that I have, let's take example, in a financial domain, if it is in the insurance sector or all, there are various plans are there, the rules, regulation, and all the informations are there. Now, using this rules and regulations, when the some user is asking on the question related to the particular plan, then the generalized things, it's not going to give me the answer, because that is specifically created for my own company's application. So it's having my own data, it having my own plans, it having my own documents. So what I want is my chatbot should give me the response based on whatever the company document, policy document, or let's take example, there is a cloud certification, any websites are there, they provide the various cloud certification. So they are going to, upload all the syllabus is there, instructions are there, and other fee structure, everything is there. So if the user is going into that website and he is going to ask something related to the particular certification, so what my chatbot should do, it should not ask every time to the chat GPT and give the response. What it want is, I want exactly whatever the document which I have generated, he has to find the answer from this and give me the response. That means what happened is, this chat GPT, the purpose of this is to give me the response based on the prompt, but in between, we can customize these things. That means we can provide our own data set, the company related own data set. And that is how the companies are interested to use this chat GPT model into it, right? In the text generations, so that this model is going to work on this own company data set, right? Of course, there is the other parts that are also very important, that is ethical thinking and all those things, right? The ethics, right? Then the security and all, but that is also going to take care, fine tuning of the model, then ethics in this thing. So that is the different aspects, right? So what happened is, so we can provide our own documents, and what happened is, in the chatbot, it's going to use my own document, and at the same time, if it is not going to get some relate answer, I mean, in that document, if it is not giving the correct answer from that information is not there, then it can search it through the chat GPT, or otherwise it says, sorry, I couldn't find it. We will get back to you, some kind of this response, right? So these things we can do. And for that, we are going to use over here as one very, very, very important concept, that is called as RAG, right? Retrieval Augmentation Generation. So this is the in short architecture of that. And based on this, I have created one project. So like, I'll give it to that. So what we are going to do is, we are having our own Gen AI app. We are going to ask the user to enter some data into it, right? It can be upload any document and all, or you can upload the document when our application is started also. You can take now in my application, I'll take the document and I process. But if you wish, you can, when that application is started, documentation is updated only once and you can work for that. There are various options are available. We can use the different database also, open source database, right? And we can work on that. So in the help of the prompt, what it can does is, it can use this retrieval model. So this model, what we are going to do is, whatever the documents are there, that we are going to update. And this document is going to again then converted into the structured and unstructured database. So depends on that what you are choosing, right? So suppose if I'm going to deal with any structured data, right, then I'm going to work with this. Suppose I have the financial data in some rows and a column, I'll go for the structured way. If I want some textual data, I'll go for the unstructured ways. So here in between conversion of my documents into this, there is using the NLPs. So they use the tokenization. Then there is a lots of techniques are there. Remove all the stop words, convert this document into the vectorization and store the database. So you can use the Firebase database, you can use the vector database. So various databases are there. So what happens is, when the user asks the question, it's going to go over here. This model is going to search that particular data into this models, whatever it is created based on the document which we are provided, and it will search. And then what happens is, the prompt with the context we can use in between the generative AI model, because this model is important to give me the response, and then this model will generate a response and given to the application. So this is the simple architecture, but behind the scene, the lots of steps are there. We have to use this OpenAI model. We have to do certain steps. We have to break, like if it is a textual unstructured data, we have to break down into the chunks that we are going to, split it. We have to give the size, then we have to convert into the vector database, and then we are going to ask. So this is in short the project. Now I'm just going to give you the demonstration of the project, and at the same time I'm going to show you the code also. So just give me a minute. I'm just going to share my screen and okay. So here is, I have already uploaded, I have already started my application. So I'm going to run it with HTTP localhost 5000. This is the port. And this is the simple project, call it as resume evaluation, right, for the expert career coaching. So what we are going to do is, I'll just upload a particular resume over here. Okay. And I'm going to upload the resume and I submit the resume. What it gives is, it gives me the summary of my resume, right? And it will, I can ask any question based on this. Like suppose I'm going to ask how many years of experience that person has, show the skills, what are the birth date, what are the improvement areas, how it can be improvised. So all those things that can be give over here. So this candidate summary, Jayashree, objective. So in this application, I have given the prompt. Through that prompt, it give me this response that I ask, analyze this resume and give me the career objective, skills and expertise, professional experience, right? And at the same time, educational background, right? Notable achievement and personal. Apart from that, I can ask any question to this also. So I can ask, uh, what is the simple question I can ask? What is the birth date of Jayashree? So it give me the birth date by seeing from the resume. I can ask the another question also, right? what is the her native place. So by seeing the address, okay, it give me the that response also. Okay. Right. So these are the question based on the resume, and I can, ask some suggestions also, right? So if I'm just saying that if I want to move to the architect, what can be role that you can suggest for? So now this will, it is not there in my resume, right? So it gives me based on my resume, it gives the suggestions also, right? So for this application, I have used something called it as Anaconda. Now I'll show you the all the code. Okay. So this is my applications. And in this applications, I have used the template folder to create a UI. At the same time, this is the vector index. I have used it's unstructured data. I use the vector index after the passing and stored into the database. This is the main file of my project, and these are the requirements. So requirement is I required this libraries, LangChain, PyPDF2. This is for the PDF parsing, and PDF Plumber is processing on that. LangChain and the sentence transformer, this is basically used for the NLP and work with the local, because I want to store this database on the local. I have not used any other places over here. You can use the Chrome DB, you can use a SQLite, you can use a vector database, various options are there. So I have used this database, and this database are there in locally on my machine. If you wish later on in a deployment, you can use purchase the space and put this data. You can use a MySQL also. So various options that are available depends on the requirement. So this is a simple project. Now app.py, this is my first landing page where I'm going to do certain configurations. The first step in my project is I have to do the test splitter. That means what? I'm going to upload my Python, I'm going to upload my PDF file. So what it does, the step is it going to split that into the chunks, right? So in this, I've used the character text splitter, and for that, I'm going to separate with a new line. I've given the chunk size overlap and the length, what is the size. Apart from that, here we are using the embeddings. Now, what is embedding does? Now, see this. In this generative AI, internally, it use the deep learning, and it use the something called it as NLPs. And this deep learning and machine learning is very well work with the numbers rather than the characters. So, these embeddings are basically convert my text into the vector database with the help of the numbers. And this vector database is having the index for the fasting searching. So this process is there for the inputs, whatever the data set that you have. Apart from that, if I ask any question, then that prompt, whatever I have, provide, that also get converted into some text splitter and some coding, and then that is get matched with my vector database. Wherever the match is found, based on that tokens, it will generate the response. This is how the simple project is. So in the generative AI, likewise, we can create a different project for the structured database, for unstructured database. You can use a different database also. You can go for the Chrome DB. You can store it locally, or you can store it on this thing also. Here I have used this perform query. This is the button when I'm going to ask the question. At that time, this is get call. So here we have using FAISS. So this is Facebook AI library. Basically, this is used for the similarity search, right? As I told you, I pass the prompt, then that prompt is also get converted into this vector embeddings and all, and that is get compared. So for the fasting purpose, I have used this library, that is FISS. So here I'm going to pass the local vector database, whatever the embeddings that we have created, and this is going to use the retriever also. So this retriever is db dot retriever, it's going to, use the search type, that is the similarity, and the search KW asks, this is give me the top 4 searches. So that's the reason I'm going to put over here is 4. Then here I've used something called it as the required chain. So what model we have used, because it's going to search, and now then that searching model, we need to again convert it into text and give the response. So for that we have used the LLM model, right? So this is the LLM model which we have. So in my code, you can see it over here. I have configured the LLM model also. See this. LLM model is Chat OpenAI. This is my LLM. This is my model. I've used GPT-4o, and the temperature is 0. This is for the accuracy we are going to set. And this is my API's key. So I have used this API key and I'm going to pass that model over here. This function then, okay, so this is when I'm going to pass the query and hit the button. At the time this is get called. This is the Flask applications, and this is by default deployed on the port number 500. Now you can see this is the upload folder where my resume is uploaded, and you can see over here is this is the code which is get called first when the resume is uploaded. So what it does, it will convert my all the PDF text into this variable, call it as a text. So what it has, open that PDF in a read mode, and we are going to apply the for loop, and then we are going to take the all the text and then concatenate into this text variable. So it will return that. And this is the prompt which I have given, what it should do. So role is you are an AI coach, given the candidate resume and provide the comprehensive summary. So what I exactly want when the resume is uploaded as a response is, I want career objective, skills and expertise, professional experience, educational background, and notable achievement. So that's the reason any resume, if I upload, it give me all the information in a summarized format in this pattern. So you can, at a time, you can pass the multiple PDF also. You can search the particular skill into that also. So you can scale this application at, n number of different level as per the requirement. Okay. And that is how we are going to, take on this kind of project in our applications. And then what we are saying is provide a concise summary, focus on this candidate skill and all. So that's the reason when I hit the button after uploading, I'll get all this information. This is my resume prompt where I'm just going to say input variable is resume. And this is the template, right? It's going to, use this resume template to take that. And then this is the LangChain where I'm just going to provide here what is my LLM model and what is my prompt, because this LangChain is basically used internally to process my input, right? So it is an open source model. Okay. And now when somebody access this, it will show the index.html page. In the index.html page, very first operation that user did is upload. He has to upload the resume first, right? So when he upload, what it does, it will check whether the file is present. Then it will take that file and it call the method. You can see this now I have show you that function. It will call this. See this, it will call the save file. It will, that file is also saved. At the same time, it will call the method extract text from the PDF. So it will extract all the text from the PDF. Then it call the method, call it as a text splitter. It will split that text. Okay. And then it's going to use from that text by using the embedding, it will create a vector store. And from that, it will call the method, call it as vector store.save vector index. It's going to save. So you can see it over here. These are the files. See this index, right? This is FAISS. This is the library, Facebook AI library, where for the similarity search we have used, and it is stored over here, right? And then we are just going to say resume analysis is resume analysis chain dot run resume is equal to resume text. So whatever the resume text we are getting, it's going to generate that, and that we are going to render on the result page. So that is the reason we get the response on the result page as a complete summary of the resume. And then when somebody is going to ask the question, what it does, it will internally call the method, call it as ask query, and then it's called the method perform query, which we have just discussed earlier. And we, in the perform query, we pass the query. So here it will call this method perform query. And from this perform query, say this, from this perform query with the vector index, whatever the query which I have passed, right, based on that, it will give me the response. So see this, all the options that are mentioned over here. See this, we are just going to set the database. We load that vector index. We call the retriever. We tell them you retrieve based on the similarity. Give me the top 4 result. I call the retrieval.qa. I'll give them my LLM model because that is how the response is generated. And then I call the invoke method of this retrieval QA, and I'll pass the query. And based on that, whatever the result is there, that is generated. So this is how the simple, we can say the project, which is use the RAG, and internally it use the open source. You can use an open source model. You can use a paid model based on your requirement. You can choose the different types of data. It can be database. You can use a vector database or the Chrome DB or other database, and you can store your data. So this kind of applications are very demand in the market because every companies, they have their own documentations on their website, on their project. They want this kind of chatbot kind of applications where the company document has been submitted, and based on that user can ask any question. Apart from that, if user can ask any other things which is not there in that particular document, then it can be search it, or you can think for the customization comparison for the other things also, right? So this is the one of the projects that we are going to you can develop by using the generative AI. Of course, I have given the brief overview over here, but during the generative AI course here, we have talked about a lot in detail about the how the NLPs work. NLP basics are there, right? Then deep learning, machine learning, Python basic, Python advanced, right? Because these are the basic prerequisite to learn this. Then generative AI, what is mean by the GPT, how the GPT model internally work, what is a transformer, what is the embedding, all those things in a great detail we discuss. And at the end, such a 1 or 2 live project that also we are going to discuss based on this. So thank you so much for watching this video.